Welcome to the Stocks with Josh show. Stocks were up today, but they're still down for the week, and we're continuing to get higher lows, which has been giving confidence to the bulls that they could make another move on the resistance lines ahead of us. However, the technicals are still on the bears' side, and there's still continued selling into these rallies. It was big tech today that led the markets higher. They were spurred on by Netflix earnings and the news that Alphabet, aka Google, will lay off 12,000 employees. I recently did a live with Mo, Keenan, and Larry, and I shared that the smart money is looking for leaner, meaner companies to invest in. And the number one metric moving forward into these earnings is not necessarily going to be growth, but it's going to be cost cutting and protection of profit margin, protection of the moat. And this was confirmed when Google missed their earnings, but the shareholders got rewarded just on the news of the layoffs ahead. Another favorable event for the markets was Fed Governor Waller came out today and advocated a 25 basis point rate hike. Speaking from New York, he basically said that there is still a considerable way to go before inflation is brought fully under control, but he does expect that the Fed can ease back on the size of its rate hikes. It's my view that all communication from central bank officials is scripted. It's not happenstance. So this was shocking, and it can really spark a continued bullish move in the markets because, as I said just recently, the downtrend was the market trying to price in the risk of the 50 basis point. And yet today we've got a Fed coming out saying, oh no, it might just be 25. So the markets being whipsawed back and forth through the month of January. Other interesting news was Barclays' upgrade of Ralph Lauren. The shares jumped 2%. Now, specifically why I found this interesting was because of my position in VFC Corporation. These guys own all sorts of popular premium clothing brands. Now, I don't have a large position in VFC, but I've been nibbling and growing a position in my retirement account. These current levels are pretty attractive. I ultimately want to sell covered calls in the long term on VFC. My view of VFC is that they're a best-in-class company. This was an addition to my recession portfolio, not because you would expect these premium brands to thrive in a recession, but because the stock came down so much in 2022 that it brought it down to some very interesting buy levels. VFC at one time hit an all-time high of $90.79, and in my view, it's looking like a pretty good buy for me for my long-term investment goals beneath $30. I wanted to get into it at the $22 to $23 range, but I'm buying weekly below $30 with a focus of doubling my buys if we got back to the $25 range and adding even more if we were to touch on that $22. It got below 25 bucks and it's begun to move sideways, so that may be an indication that the bottom may be very close to being in for VFC. NASDAQ jumped 2% today, driving the SQQQ down to $44.68. Yesterday, I gave support for SQQQ at $45.10. It was up at $49, and a lot of people were wanting to jump back in. I gave my stop loss on the Moo yesterday when we were in the $49 range at $47.50. I got back in at $45. I've set my stop loss on this play at $44.50. If we lose this level, I think we're likely to go to $42.78. And I think if the markets push up to retest that line, I think we will lose that level. As far as resistance above, or a place to consider taking profits, or even a place to hedge your shares with a put, is at $49.33. As we make our way down, the take profit area comes down as well. I've gotten asked a few times about the SQQQ. Can you just buy it and hold it and ride out the choppy January markets? Is it still going to potentially go up to $70? I would say yes, you could ride out this very wavy period with a tight stop loss because we don't know what the markets will do. But I do ultimately believe that the SQQQ is going to potentially get up to $70. That's when I would begin to enter into the TQQQ long shares. At the moment, I think we're still in an SQQQ environment. The bottom line is the reason why I'm in this play is because I'm still more bearish right now than I am bullish because of the overall trend of the market. Thank you guys for watching today. I also want to thank you guys for all the favor that I regularly receive from each of you. I want to thank you guys for hitting the like, throw a heart in the chat for me. Get serious about your saving, investing, and learning in 2023 by hitting the subscribe and the YouTube notification bell. This is for educational purposes. Remember, anything I say is not a suggestion for you guys to buy, sell, or hold. And you want to watch out for the scammers in the comments section that use my name and my picture. They try to get you guys to get a hold of them on WhatsApp and Telegram. That's not me. I'm going to touch on some small caps here real quick. Before I do, a quick station break for the Moomoo investment app. They're giving away 15 free stock to open and fund an account. Take a screenshot to see the limited time offer opportunity. Moomoo is available for your phone, tablet, and desktop, but only available in the US, Australia, and China. They are licensed, registered, and insured exchange based out of Palo Alto, California. But the best part of the Moomoo app is the Stock Josh family chat group. It's truly special. Check out the link to Moomoo, come find the chat group, and get connected to future growth. All right, I want to break down the Verb small cap play and the WVE small cap play a little further today. Let's start with Verb. I'm reluctant to talk about Verb because I know that some people approach small cap penny stocks like they were crack cocaine. So I've got to be careful about how I talk about it. I don't want to come off and sound super bullish so people feel like they should just jump in and buy. I want to give you what I see though so that you're properly prepared. The recent Volta buyout I think is very interesting, and I think we want to look at the Verb price action because it's been causing me to think about why Verb has been building momentum for the last 3 weeks. The stock has moved basically from 10 cents to 24 cents today, midday. That was the midday high. That's been a 120% upswing in a very short amount of time. And I want to point out that we got a double top at 24 cents. But I want to remind you guys that for a double top to be confirmed, you need to break the low between both tops, which in this case is 21 cents. It has to both break and close. It cannot break and bounce or break and wick down and wick back up. It's got to break and close for that double top to be confirmed. So at the moment, the trend remains bullish. And why is that? Is it because that they have potentially succeeded in finding a buyer? I want to remind you of a video update that I did recently on their last earnings that showed a large M&A expense that appeared on their papers. M&A stands for merger and acquisitions. And since these guys are broke financially and have been raising capital and diluting shares just to keep the lights on, we know that they're not buying anybody. So does this reversal in the price action of the stock somehow signal us that they may have made a deal? And if so, what will that mean for the stock? So to talk about that, I want to kind of cover the Volta deal that we saw recently with Shell Company. That stock got down to 30 cents, and then it went on a straight climb to 70 cents. And then the news was released that they were going to be bought out by Shell at 86 cents a share. So to be clear about the Volta deal, if you do not sell your shares by the deal's close date, then the exchange will sell your shares. They'll close out your position for you at the 86 cents a share price that was given in the deal. That's the end of the story for Volta. So back to Verb. If we continue to creep up to 30 cents, I'm going to assume that they have successfully negotiated a buyout. If we continue to climb up in the same way that Volta climbed up in a very short amount of time. And ultimately, I believe it's going to be heading to a fixed stock price. I'm guessing that it could be around 65 cents to 85 cents because the majority of the recent share dilution was around that price range. Those individuals who gave a cash infusion to Verb likely knew that this was a possibility, and they have worked out some sort of a profit agreement that they've got in place to protect their recent investment. Those share dilutions were just enough to get them this far down the road to possibly make this deal. Now, this is entirely pure speculation for a cashless company that could soon be defunct and go bankrupt. But in my view, this is a simple trade opportunity. We know that the bottom technically is 10 cents. We know that it's trending up for a potential reason. If it is a merger and acquisition deal, we likely will not be going back and retesting any levels. You didn't see that in the Volta run-up. And you could easily buy it. You could set a stop loss 3 cents below. And if you continued that path, you may be able to participate in this continued upward swing. And if there is any trend down from this point forward, I would assume that the buyout scenario is a false idea. But if we continue to climb, something is clearly going on here and it's eventually going to jump. I want to remind you guys that this is not an investment. It can't be an investment because these guys are broke. They don't have control over their own future. This is just a swing. If you don't know how to use a stop loss, don't invest in penny stocks or small cap stocks. Don't be a penny stock crackhead. All right, let's touch on WVE. When I gave a buy zone of $4.12 yesterday, things changed today. When we got a drop, we hit a low of $4.22, and in the level 2 data, more buying came in, which was a pretty strong position that might be the bottom. I took a position at $4.35. I let the chat group know when I did this, and in addition to that, I saw a bullish reversal candle. When I got that candle, I knew that could have been a signal that the bottom had been put in for this recent downward move. So I aligned my support lines a little bit differently than I had them yesterday, and it kind of gives me a sensible view that very well might be the bottom. I was originally charting a bottom move to the 200-day moving average, but I had to readjust it. So my stop loss will be at the low of the day at $4.22, and I am now purely going long on this play for a minimum move up to $5.28. We need to break that level to take a shot at the $6.34 range and then eventually the $7.24 range. Those are areas of resistance. If you aren't quick on your feet, stay away from this play. I'm showing you how I execute trades, how I respond to the charts. This is not a call for you. It's what I'm doing with my money. I also chose this stock because it is cheap and I can take a high position size in which I am in my full position size right now. But not every trade is going to win, but every trade is a learning opportunity. Like I said before the start of 2023, it's about learning and getting better positioned to grow as an investor. Make it a goal to master the order types, like the ones that they have on the Moomoo app. Learn stop loss theory like the back of your hand. Make it a goal to master that for every trade moving forward in 2023. And when this market turns bullish again, because it eventually will, because you will have already grown your wealth through building knowledge. Final thought on tomorrow. In this tug-of-war market, the green volume bar that we got today was bigger than the last 3 days. So we may be making another attempt at that great barrier bear wall next week. This January back and forth market has been jerking us one way and then the other, but it's been a great opportunity for momentum swing trades. A lot of money is changing hands every single day right now. I want to encourage you guys to play it safe. Don't get headstrong in thinking that you know which direction that this is going to shake out. The big trend is obviously bearish from a technical view, and I think that we are eventually going to make a new low, but we don't know when that's going to happen. So keep your seatbelt on for this roller coaster, and as always, peace and blessings. I'll see you in the chat.